Let me tell you who's at the table. We've got Irvin Magic Johnson. Sitting to his left, his teammate, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Sitting to his left, another Laker, Shaquille O'Neal. Sitting to his left, Wardell Stephen Curry. Sitting at the head table, the GOAT, Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Sitting to his left, the late great Celtic, Bill Russell. Sitting to his left, none other than Larry Joe Bird. Sitting to his left, Kevin Durant. And rounding out the table, the Mamba, Kobe Bean Bryant. Someone at this table has to get up. The person that needs to get up from this table is ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading. And thank you for subscribing to the latest edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. I am your boy, 12 Kyle. I want to thank you all for tuning in as you do each and every week. Shout out to those of you who are watching on YouTube as well as Spotify. Man, check this out. On this episode, I want to talk about a meme that's been going around here recently. Probably in the last month or so, there's been this very popular meme, and I decided to flip it and make it content. Now, if you're watching on YouTube and Spotify, you can see the meme. Basically, what it is that there are 3 different memes, and I'm going to go through each one here shortly. But in the meme, there are some entertainers that are sitting at a dinner table, right? And they have plates of food in front of them. And then there's someone standing up. And the person is standing up, and then there's a caption that says, who at this table has to get up for the person who's standing up to sit down? And I'm going to go through all the list of the names of the people who are standing. Who are sitting at the table and the person who is standing. And I saw a lot of conversation on social media about it. And the conversation was really, really interesting to say the least. And it really just depends on who you ask for each one of these memes. I'm not really on social media like that, and I definitely don't do the back and forth with people. So naturally, I decided to bring it to the podcast so I can let you guys argue about it in the comments. But seriously, folks, I thought this was a really, really good idea. And just shot a voice note to the homie Baylor, BTG for president, and Open Run with BTG or his podcast. Y'all know my brother. And so I told him, I said, hey, you may want to remix this, because this one's going to be a good one. And I'm sure he's seen the meme. Nonetheless, let's get to it. So it's called A Seat at the Table. That's what we're going to call this episode. So in this first meme, I'm going to tell you, particularly for those of you who aren't watching, who are listening, who's at the table. And I didn't mention this, but it's worth mentioning. The artists or the athletes that are at this table, it's all AI generated. They're not literally at the table, because some of these people have, unfortunately, tragically, transitioned on and no longer with us. But that's beside the point. The question is, a seat at the table, who has to get up? So the first meme, in one seat, we have Janet Demita Joe Jackson. Sitting to her right, the incomparable Luther Vandross. Sitting to his right at the table, none other than Marvin Gaye. Sitting to his right, the great Whitney Houston. Standing up, one Miss Mariah Carey. So she's the one who's trying to have a seat at the table. Sitting at the head chair, the king of pop, my man, Michael Jackson, Janet's older brother. Sitting to his right, Beyonce Carter. Sitting to her right, the queen of soul, Miss Aretha Franklin. Sitting to Aretha's right, my man, Stevie Wonder. And sitting to Stevie's right, the one and only Mary Jane Blige. So the question on the meme is, who at this table has to get up in order for Mariah to have a seat? Now, it goes without saying that Mariah Carey is very worthy of being at this table. I mean, she hit the scene in 1990 and she hasn't stopped, putting out smash albums and singles and all of this stuff. And one can make a case that she's got the Christmas song that everybody sings every single year. That being said, everybody at this table is worthy of being at this table. Again, Mary J. Blige, Stevie Wonder, Aretha Franklin, Beyonce, MJ, and I ain't talking about Jordan, Whitney Houston, Marvin Gaye, Luther Vandross, and Janet Jackson. But somebody got to get up. Who has to get up from this table? That remains to be seen, because you really can make a case that everyone at this table is deserving to be at this table. But one person has to get up. In my opinion, the person that has to get up from this table is Mary J. Blige. And that pains me because I love me some Mary. Y'all know I love Mary. I go back with Mary. I mean, like Mary J. and I, 1992, man, I was there. Real Love, I was there. I was outside. I bought the What's the 411 album. My Life is one of my favorite albums of all time in any genre. And she's deserving to be at this table. She's what they call the queen of hip hop soul. Hell yeah, Mary deserves to be at this table. But if someone has to get up, Mary, you got to get up. I'm sorry. I mean, we could put you at another table. Maybe we could, arrange some things, Mary, but you can't. I'm sorry, Mary. You can't stay here. I mean, Mariah got to sit down. I mean, Stevie, I mean, come on now. Stevie's not going anywhere, right? That's Stevie's untouchable in this instance. Aretha, come on, dog. That's the queen. If it wasn't for Aretha, no other woman could do anything. Aretha set the standard. Beyonce, I mean, she's today's standard. As far as superstardom, you could make a case that Beyonce is the biggest pop star south of Taylor Swift in the world. I mean, so she ain't going nowhere. Whitney, come on, man. I don't necessarily know if there's a better voice at this table. Maybe Aretha in her prime, but nobody else is touching Whitney. Whitney's voice was beautiful. Even when Whitney, was kind of dealing with some stuff, her voice was still powerful. Like she still could outsing anybody. Marvin Gaye, come on now. Well, I mean, Marvin Gaye's untouchable. Luther, Big Luther, Little Luther, it doesn't matter. Luther Vandross is at that table. Janet, come on, man. Miss Jackson, if you next, that I mean, like for me, Janet ain't going nowhere. I mean, you can say what you want about how she sounds or whatever the case may be, and she, her videos. I love Janet Jackson. I've loved Janet Jackson since the first time I laid eyes on her in like 1978. So Janet Jackson ain't going nowhere. Shout out to Penny Gordon and Charlene Dupree. So yeah, in this instance, for this particular meme, unfortunately, Mary J. Blige has to go. All right. So we move to the next meme. And this time we're talking about athletics, more specifically, the NBA. Now, some of you may or may not be NBA fans. It doesn't really matter. These names and faces will, register with almost all of you who are listening and watching. And so the person who is standing up is none other than LeBron James. LeBron James, at the time of this recording, is the NBA's all-time scoring leader. So that alone puts him at this table, right? So then you have to ask yourself, who has to get up from this table so that LeBron can have a seat? So let me tell you who's at the table. Starting on This side, we've got Irvin Magic Johnson. Baylor, you know who that is. I mean, it's Showtime. The Magic Man. Magic Johnson, Laker great. I mean, one of the best players I've ever seen in my life. He's at the table. Sitting to his left, his teammate. They call him the captain. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the professor of the skyhook. Sitting to his left, another Laker. Wow, it's 3 Lakers already? 3 Lakers. Shaquille Rashawn O'Neal. Sitting to his left, Dell's little boy, Stephen Curry, sitting next to Shaq. Sitting at the head table, the GOAT, Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Sitting to his left, the late, great Celtic, Bill Russell. I think Bill Russell had, 11 titles? Sitting to his left, speaking of Celtics, none other than Larry Joe Bird, one of the coldest shooters you ever want to see. Sitting to his left, Kevin Durant. And rounding out the table, the late, great, the Mamba, Kobe Bean Bryant. So now there's the question. Again, LeBron, I don't think we're being facetious if we say that LeBron deserves a spot at this table. And he rightfully does. He should be at this table because he is one of the all-time greats no matter what you think about LeBron James. That being said, someone at this table has to get up. And so you could actually make a case for some getting up and some staying. You could make the case. And it really just depends on who you ask. To me, it's a no-brainer. The person that needs to get up from this table is Kevin Durant. KD got to get up. And it's wild to say that because Kevin Durant is one of the best scorers I've ever seen with my own 2 eyes. But let's go back around the table. Baylor, Magic Johnson. I mean, you can make a case that he's the greatest Laker ever, which would be saying a lot because, hell, there's 4 Lakers at this table. But Magic ain't going nowhere. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, when he retired, he led the league, the NBA in scoring. Again, the perfecter of the skyhook, he's not going anywhere. Shaquille Rashawn O'Neal. Shaq was the most dominant player I've ever seen in my life. He stays. Steph Curry. Steph Curry changed the game. Regardless of whether or not you like Golden State or you didn't like Golden State or anything like that, Steph Curry changed the way the basketball was played. The guy at the head table, there's a reason why he's sitting at the head table. It ain't because of how many sneakers he sold, King Germ. Shout out to King Germ from Pod and Saved Our Marriage. It ain't because he sold sneakers. It's because, in my opinion, he's the greatest basketball player ever. Period. End of story. Again, it's my opinion, but he's the GOAT. There's a reason why he's sitting at the table and he's at the head of the table in this meme. I don't think anybody with a brain is going to tell Michael Jordan to get up from this table. Again, there's a reason why he's at the head of the table. Sitting next to him, Bill Russell. Bill Russell, 11 championships. And I hate to hear sports fans, these whack NBA fans, well, Bill Russell, he got 11 titles, but he was playing against plumbers. No, he wasn't. He was playing against some great players. He was a dominant man and a great spirit and a great ambassador for the game. Bill Russell stays. Larry Bird, trust me. Larry Bird ain't getting up. In my book, Larry Bird gets up for nobody. Larry Bird is one of the coldest small forwards that you will ever see. And I hate the fact that so much time has passed and Bird is not really in the spotlight like that. Ask your uncle or your grandfather about Larry Bird. Ask somebody who saw Larry Bird in his prime. Let me just say that. Because some of you young Thundercats don't know, and maybe you should know. Larry Bird was cold. If Larry Bird played in today's NBA, he probably averaged like 40 points. Crazy. No defense, and you can shoot threes all the time. Man, Bird was automatic. Next up, Kevin Durant. And again, Kevin Durant is hard to tell him to get up. But I mean, come on, man. There's only two people left, him and Kobe. I mean, Bean ain't getting up. He's not getting up. Kobe Bean Bryant, rest in peace, he is not getting up. You know, some will make a case that Kobe could be sitting at the head of the table. You won't get a whole lot of argument from me because I love Kobe. I didn't really care for Kobe as a player when he played, but that was just me being a hater. But I always said he was a bad boy. He was one of the best players I've ever seen in my life. And it's unfortunate, that he's tragically no longer with us. And I know at the time of this recording, the anniversary of his death is coming up. And, when he passed away in that helicopter crash, I'll be honest, things ain't been the same since Kobe been gone. I mean, shortly thereafter, we got hit with COVID. But I digress. But yes, in this meme, Kevin Durant has to get up from the table and leave a space for LeBron to sit. And LeBron belongs at this table. Kevin Durant belongs at this table as well. He just got to get up. And ladies and gentlemen, right now it's time for a quick commercial break. On the other side of the break, we'll come back with the final meme. Sit tight. We'll be back in just a second. And we are back. Once again, it's your boy 12 Kyle. This is the 12 Kyle podcast. And we're talking about having a seat at the table. As I mentioned at the top, we're talking about a very popular meme that was going around, or memes actually, that were going around the last month or so. And I decided to put the memes together and make some content and open up some discussion with you, the listener. All right, so we did the seat at the table with the singers. We did the athletes. And now it is time, my friends, for the rappers. All right. So the person that is standing up is none other than Kendrick Lamar Duckworth. Shout out to K Dot. K Dot is one of the baddest MCs out there. He's been doing his thing for a while. You could make a case that these last couple of years has really been his year. What was it, 2025? Yeah, 2025 was definitely K Dot's year. And I think at the time of this recording, when the Grammys roll around, he's probably going to take home a little bit of hardware. But that being said, K Dot is definitely worthy of being at this table. So who's at the table, you may ask? Well, let's start off on the left-hand side. We have the notorious B.I.G., a.k.a. Biggie Smalls. It's all good, baby. I mean, Biggie's one of the greatest MCs. Where you rank him, it doesn't matter. I don't care. Obviously, Biggie's time here was very short-lived. He was, horrifically taken away from us way too soon. And, thus he did not get a chance to make more albums or as many albums as, the other people who were at the table. But that ain't Biggie's fault. I mean, he did his thing when he was here. Sitting to Biggie's left, none other than Dwayne Carter, a.k.a. Lil Wayne. Man, listen, Lil Wayne, bad. So cold. Personally, I prefer mixtape Wayne than the Wayne that's running around here right now. Because the Wayne that's running around right now, he's kind of lost a little bit. He's lost it a little bit. But I will say this much, and I always say this about Wayne. When inspired, Lil Wayne can rap circles around damn near everybody. When inspired. The problem is we don't know when Lil Wayne's inspired. We just don't. I mean, we don't know when the motivation comes or when, the substances go down or whatever the case may be. But when he's inspired, very few can touch him. Sitting to his left, Sean Corey Carter, a.k.a. Jay-Z, the Jigga Man. Jigga's, it goes without saying, he deserves to be at this table. One of the greatest MCs, one of the biggest stars in the game, and has been for the better part of the last, 30 years? Jay definitely needs to be at this table. Sitting at the head of the table, none other than the late, great Tupac Amaru Shakur. I probably wouldn't have put him in that head seat, but, to each his own. It's okay. It's cool. And the reason being is because I love Pac. Pac's my guy. I was crushed when he died. That being said, I don't think lyrically if you're talking about lyrical spitters, he probably shouldn't be sitting at the head of the table. But hey, I didn't make the meme, so I'm gonna go with it. Pac at the head of the table. We roll. Okay, Pac, definitely. To his left, Marshall Mathers, aka Eminem. Again, crazy MC. That goes without saying. Regardless of whether or not you like his music, regardless of whether or not if you even like Eminem, Eminem's cold. You can't take that away from him. Full disclosure, I don't find his music to be, really, really dope as far as replay value, but it's dope. Don't get it twisted. It is dope. But I don't go back and put that Eminem on. Like, I've never woke up one day and say, yo, put that Eminem on. I've never been at a party and been like, yo, give me the aux. Let's put this Eminem on. Sorry. Not sorry. But definitely deserving of being at this table. Sitting next to him, the MC/producer, none other than Kanye West. Kanye's dope, man. I mean, I have my own personal feelings about Kanye and who I think he is as a man and who I think he is as an artist and as an MC and as a producer. I don't rock with Kanye. I stopped rocking with Kanye a long time ago. But, politics aside and some of the dumbest shit he's ever said aside, he deserves to be at this table. Sitting next to him to complete the set at the table, none other than Curtis Jackson, aka 50 Cent. That Get Rich or Die Trying album, one of the greatest debut albums ever. Definitely worthy, and he's had the longevity. 50, when was the last time 50 put out an album? Oh, it's been a minute. I think it's been a minute, but nonetheless, 50 is here at the table as well. So you see who's at the table. This is a very popular hip hop table. Someone has to get up for Kendrick Lamar. All of the people who are at the table are worthy of being at the table, but somebody got to get up. And that person who has to get up is Kanye West. Yeah, Kanye got to get up. I'm sorry. Not sorry. Kanye as an MC, I will say this much. His first 3 albums, cold. Oh my gosh, his first 3 albums are cold. Kanye lost me at the Twisted Dark Fantasy album. I don't know what number that was. Maybe y'all could tell me. I think he fell off after that. And I'll be honest, I haven't listened to a Kanye album in its entirety probably since Yay, maybe, or the album before that. And that was maybe 2 or 3 songs. His music doesn't appeal to me. Personality-wise, he doesn't appeal to me. Politically-wise, he doesn't appeal to me. But that has nothing to do with me removing him from the table. These are some lyrical, I wouldn't even really call 50 lyrical, but between Eminem, Pac, Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, Biggie, these are some rapping rappers, and Pac really didn't have overwhelming bars, but Pac, you felt what Pac said. So he would deserve a seat at the table. Kendrick Lamar is a rapping ass rapper. He raps his ass off. He's a lyricist. Kanye ain't a lyricist. Kanye's a pretty good rapper. He's a super dope producer, but he don't move the needle as a rapper. And I honestly, I could make the same case for 50. 50 don't move the needle for me like that either. I like his music. I bought, I think, the first 2 albums. But I can make a case that 50 and Kanye got to get up. We only said one, so I'm going to remove Kanye because he's problematic at the table. But yeah, Kanye, he gets out of there. He makes a seat for and a place for Kendrick Lamar to sit, and they're gonna chop it up and they're gonna rap. So I've told you who needs to remove themselves from the table. You tell me what you think. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for me. Thanks again for checking out this edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast. We drop new episodes weekly. Also, be sure to subscribe on Spotify, on YouTube, wherever you're listening to this podcast. And don't forget about our new baby. We have a new baby. It's called the Rap Soul Podcast. That is my personal music podcast. It's the best music podcast that you've never heard. On that podcast, it's the intersection where we have discussions about music, artists, as well as any and everything in between, from artists from the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s when it comes to rap, soul, hip hop, and R&B. Again, it's the best music podcast that you've never heard. You need to check it out. You can find that podcast wherever you're listening and watching this podcast. Also, if you'd like to contribute to the podcast financially, hit us up on Cash App, $TWELVEKYLE. Also, we have merch. Check out our merch. Click the link in the description box and buy some 12 Kyle Podcast t-shirts, hoodies, as well as coffee mugs. We got it for the low. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for me. Thanks again for checking out this edition of the 12 Kyle Podcast. I am your boy 12 Kyle. We'll catch you guys next time. 5,000. Cheers.